Alright, so I thought this one needed a little bit of a documentation. This is going to be how to remove your high pressure power steering pump hose with a banjo bolt on it on a Generation 2 4-cylinder Toyota Camry. Now this is a 4-cylinder model and this is the hose. I just pulled this off my parts car, which is the exact same car, and I'll explain to you how I did it. Now, the tough part is getting this banjo bolt here off. Now, if you look over here, I'll see if I can show you where it is. I'll try to document removing it on my daily driver. So get it on the parts car first, because, well, less risky that way. Anyways, let's get down in here, and I will show you. This bolt right here is the one that needs to come off. So, how do you get that bolt off? It's tight as hell. It's in a tough to reach spot. It's a real fucking nightmare to get it off. So what I did was I have a ratcheting socket wrench, 1/2 drive that you can buy at Harbor Freight. I think they're $15, $20, something like that. Maybe the price has gone up since I got it. So I got three little 3/8 drives extensions here, and then I have a swivel, and then I have connected to a 1/2 drive 22mm socket with a converter on the end of it from the swivel. Oh, don't do that, Bradley. You're gonna break your car. Okay, so you see how this goes into here, into here, into here. Why am I using so many extensions, you may ask? More flexibility. Why am I using 3/8 to 1/2 extension? Smaller. Why am I using 1/2 dry breaker bar? Leverage. So you can contort this quite a bit to get where you want to go. You see how this is kind of bent a little bit because of how much pressure it needed. So first thing you're going to do is disconnect your alternator wire, and then you're going to disconnect this wire here and this wire here. So then this piece comes out from behind your timing cover. It's a little electrical piece, and you can fold that, put that out of the way, get that behind everything. You're going to disconnect this little hose right here going into the intake. You're going to pull that out of your way. You're going to pull this little cable here, just move it out of the way. Get as much stuff out of your way as you can. And you're going to break this free. This is a 17. This is a 22. Get yourself a little combination set up. It's like this. This side on the 17. And then this side on the 22. I'm going to demonstrate right now. I don't have a tripod. You're going to move that hose and get that moved out of the way to give you a little bit more leverage, and then you want to fish downwards with this guy here and get it firmly planted all the way on that stupid stubborn banjo bolt. If I can even see it from here. There's that little bugger. Anyways, you get the concept. You can't show it on the camera very well. Get this guy connected on there, and you may have to remove one of these extensions or two of these extensions and put them back together. Put them back together afterwards, firmly pressing it down. Break it free with your breaker bar, just like I showed you. Now, if your pressure fitting comes out, don't panic, because it's attached to a pressure fitting. It didn't come out of my parts car, which has been sitting in a field for 17, 18 years, so hopefully it won't come out on this one. But if it does, not a big deal. This will get this thing out without you having to remove the wheel, without you having to remove the cross member, without you having to remove everything and anything on here. It took me 10 minutes to get this out, and I'll try to demonstrate as I go along just exactly what I'm doing, if I can. Otherwise, this is how you do it. It worked for me in the parts car. It'll work for you in your car. Your power steering hose is leaking. You can have it fixed, and It took me 10 minutes in the parts car, mostly because some of the wires were undone, but maybe 20-30 minutes you can have the hose at least out. Give another few, get it back in, turns a 5-6 hour job into less than 1 hour. Can't complain. Okay, so I disconnected my negative battery terminal, and then I disconnected this wire here, this wire here, and we went back here, and we disconnected this sensor that goes right here. We disconnected the top of the alternator lead. So now all these come as one piece, and they just kind of rest in here behind the timing cover, upper timing cover. So then you take all these wires here and you just kind of just move them out of your way as much as you can. So I'm going to move them kind of back here. Gives me just a little bit more space. I didn't need to remove the main harness before, but if you look, you can see the bolt a little bit better now. Oh, maybe you can. Yeah. It's dark down there. Okay, let's see if I can see it now. Just a second, I'll be back when I can see it. Alright, there it is. So, coming from here, you can see that. It's hard to focus on it, but there is the banjo bolt right there, I swear. So, then you're going to disconnect this hose right here. It's pretty self-explanatory. Just take your self needle and those pliers on it, pull it out of the way, undo this right here, which is also pretty self-explanatory. I just wanted to point out these sensors here and what you need to do with those. Something real quick to note when you disconnect this hose, be careful with these vacuum lines. They are brittle, so you're going to want to gently just unhook them if you can, just like this. You see this one tore just a tiny bit. I'm going to mark which one goes where real quick. Actually, no, it'll be pretty easy for me to tell since that one's frayed. And it goes on top. This one's not, it goes on the bottom. And just kind of just, tuck these guys out of the way a little bit so that way you don't tear them up. Makes your life easier when you don't break shit. Okay, next update. I had to remove the hood because my little string of extensions, well, I had one break. As you can see there. Worked on the other car, not so much on this one, so I'm going to have to use a longer straight extension since it's 4 o'clock in the morning and everything's closed in order to get this out of here. I would highly recommend getting additional hand on this hood or doing like I did and getting some foam backing because it will slide backwards and bust your windshield. So, yeah, figured I'd share any complications, so that'll make the job look easier than what it is. It's a freaking pain in the ass. But now I can fit my long, straighter extension onto the swivel and hopefully bust it free. Alright, I can declare victory. I have got this thing out. I am, however, starting to think that maybe I broke it free earlier. I struggled like hell, but I think that at one point my socket slipped off of there and got wedged and put me in an impossible battle, but the trick did work. You see this really long extension that I used? On this little cheap swivel onto a 22 millimeter. Had to pull the hood, unfortunately, but I got it off. It's off now. Now time to put this one on. But why are you using a used part here? Well, for one, I have it right now. It's middle of the night. All the parts stores are closed, and it's OEM. And it's got significantly less miles on it than the one that's currently in the vehicle. And significantly less years on it as well, so the way I look at it, this one will probably last longer. So I'll come back with any further updates if needed. Otherwise, reassembly is the reverse. But gonna be much easier because, well, you don't have to break any crazy bolts loose and everything's already taken out for you. One more thing, don't forget about this washer. This goes down here. Hold it up against there. I fell away on mine and I was like, wait, something's missing here. So, yeah, don't forget that. Okay, victory, 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 victory. I have got it together and my reservoir is full and I'm not leaking anymore. This job was a huge pain in the ass, and as you can see, I broke quite a few tools. This universal joint broke as I was tightening it as much as I possibly could, and I heard a nice snap, and I'm like, okay, at least this thing's actually tight. So the piece that goes underneath it where it threads into also threads into the power steering pump. I can't remember what it's called. I think I mentioned at the beginning of the video. That did end up coming a bit loose. The only trick with that was to put a 24mm nut on that and tighten that one super tight, and then this hose threads into there. So yeah, I did put a used hose on it, mostly because it's OEM, and honestly the hose will probably last longer than the aftermarket one that has to be special order. It's going to cost me a lot of money, and you can't special order a part when you want to get stuff done at 3 o'clock in the morning. So my Camry is now free of leaks. I did have to take the hood off. Like I said, I did have to do quite a bit of work, but I did get it done with cheap tools. But I would highly recommend getting extra tools, especially extensions, universal joints. They will break while you're trying to loosen that thing up. And don't go crazy with it. Be patient. You can get it off. It's hell. It requires a lot of work to do it from above like this, but you do not have to go from underneath. There's write-ups on Toyota Nation saying you have to take the cross member off, take the tie rods off, to take the wheel off, to go underneath it, take the pump off, take the belt off. This method requires none of that. And this method, you know, with decent organization, I would say, if you manage not to break your extensions and have to take the hood off, you can get it done about an hour, hour and a half. If you do break extension, take the hood off, give yourself about 2 hours. Make sure you get help with the hood. Get the thing lined up right. Mark it before you pull it. And, you know, do a trial and error, because you can scrape your paint up and make a mess if you don't do that. So hopefully this helps people with these cars. Try to keep them on the road. Try to keep them running. Try to keep them reliable. Subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be steadily uploading more and more videos from my old channel that I took down of just how to fix old cars. So I hope you enjoyed it. Good luck, and if you need any help, feel free to leave a comment and I'll respond to it.